And I'm here. Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the broadcast today. Today is day number 44 of my 3-year challenge to get my health and wellness under control. I just finished up this weekend on Saturday. I did see that. Let's see. I finished up this weekend on Saturday. My 1,000 hour fast. I did 1,000 hours. I'll get into that in a little bit here. But I did finish up that fast and started my refeeding. So I'm like on day 3 refeed, I guess. And so I'll go over some of that stuff here. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having success on your diets and everything over the weekend went well for you. Bolt says here, did you see that the subs went up? I did, Bolt, and I'm going to go into that a little bit. I know why. It had to do with Reddit. I made a post that did real well on Reddit. And so, yeah, I guess, that was, I'll go into it right away, I guess, because really that would be a non-scale victory I was going to go over, I guess. As far as I made a post on Reddit just kind of showing the comparison between my high and, or the beginning and the end of the fast. I was actually like 2 or 3 days into the fast at the beginning photo, and I still, I don't know that I could look worse. Got a lot of love on Reddit on the fasting page of Reddit. That was real popular, showing that I lost 90 pounds. And then that translated into the subs on YouTube went from like 103 up to above 170 last I looked, which is cool. I hope that translates into more people checking these videos out and eventually getting into like a little bit larger community of people discussing diet issues and ways to get through those issues and help each other out. Another non-scale victory that I would put up is that we have some very large there's some very large towels at our house, like beach towels or towels that you lay on the ground that you can lay on. I would imagine just a rough guess that someone would be like 5 feet, so they'd be 60 inches. And the towels recently I've been able to get like all the way around to like, just like 2 inches, and then I can do like a funky like grab it with the claw of my pinky and my thumb and hold the towel up, but now the other day I got out of the shower and the towel just went right around, and I was able to there wasn't much slack. I mean, it overlapped, just enough to wedge it, and then maybe I used my belly fat to hold it, but it was better than it had been. That's a non-scale victory for me. You're not going to take it away. And so Bolt said he made a couple of the autoimmune something AIP recipes, and they turned out great. The first one I made burnt. Yeah, that's just like the first pancake. It always gets burnt, right? The last 2 are great. That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed the meals and that they went well. I'm hoping that you can find protocol, AIP, so it's autoimmune protocol. I'm hoping you can find foods that fit, that get you excited about the diet. Fasting ended, started my refeed. I refed here. I had a little bit of mushrooms and onions just because it was something that I had been craving. And then I bought a juice drink because I felt like that was my highest probability of getting something that I was going to enjoy the taste that kind of fit what I had. If I were to just grab 4 bananas and some apples and some stuff and throw them in. I'm sure it would taste fine, but I felt like that was the highest chance of having an enjoyable drink, and I did enjoy it. I mentioned previously, and I might have mentioned that day, that uh, I'm excited about like everything that's on my diet or all this stuff, but there's a couple foods that I've just always like avoided. One of them's rice, which I can get over rice, and I've eaten rice um, more in the last few years because all my kids love it, and so if sometimes it's what we have. And then the other um, is celery. I just there's nothing I guess inherently wrong with celery. It's fine, but I feel like anything that celery gets added to, all I can taste is celery, or there's a celery flavor on top of everything. And so that would be the only downside to that drink I got. And almost all the drinks that place had, it looked like they had celery in. And so it was a good drink outside of it had celery. And I didn't notice it at first, but by the time I had a couple more drinks, I was definitely noticing it. Yeah, Jen says onions. I know you have that allergy, and then Bolt says bananas give him heartburn, and I guess that would be what I'm going to go over. I am. uh Hey, what's up, Kay? I was so I had what I refed, and then my wife had like this vegetable thing, like it was a mix of vegetables that she had made. They were all cooked that I had that evening, and then yesterday I had um oatmeal for breakfast. Actually, she made me a big bowl, and I ate like couple bites, uh, and then actually I have more of it because I brought leftovers today, and I only ate a couple bites of it today even. And so I didn't eat a ton of oatmeal yesterday, but I did eat some oatmeal that had blueberries in it. Um, and then I had more of that vegetable soup around lunch, and then I ate for dinner. And what I'm gonna definitely limit my variety of foods here for a little bit until I get my gut, going 100%. Um, and it was something that there was cooked yellow peppers in the thing I had eaten Saturday, and I had no problems. And then what I ate Sunday had raw yellow peppers in it, and I didn't even eat a lot of them. I mean, I would just only a couple, but the like a couple hours later, all I could taste, and maybe it was something else in my gut that was causing the problem, but I just had this like I think Bolt said bananas give him heartburn. It felt like I was getting heartburn from the yellow peppers that were uncooked. And so I imagine that there's a difference in them, cooked or uncooked. Or like I said, it could have been something else I ate, but I'm definitely going to try to stick to, about 4 or 5 foods here for a few days, and then add another food, and then add another food. I also want to make sure that all the plumbing seems to be working right, and the digestion. I've had, not to get too into it, but shortly after I refed yesterday, I had a little bit go on my stomach. It really felt like my stomach just cleared something out. And then this morning, a little something going as well. So I'm happy to see movement in that way, because if stuff wasn't getting that far, I'd be more worried. But also the volume I've been trying to keep down too, because I don't want to get yeah. And so I can't uh I don't want to get I don't want to just stuff my face full of food. So I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna worry about calorie count in a week or so, and I'm just gonna eat when I feel like eating. I mean, I realistically today I broke the fast, my intermediate fast from I think it was 7 o'clock last night. Um and I broke my fast a couple hours ago with just a little bit of oatmeal, and I'm satisfied. I mean, I'm not really hungry right now. I'm sure I will be by the time I get home. So, like I said, I'm just gonna take it slow with the foods I reintroduce and feel like I'm staying. I mean, if I'm staying with all vegetables, I'm not adding salt, oil, or sugar. Shouldn't be too bad, but apparently I should maybe eat more cooked and less raw. I don't know what's the best. Let's see. Peppers cause inflammation. I can't have peppers, chili, cayenne pepper. Okay, and that's on right. I think that's part of that uh, AIP protocol diet. That's part of it, right? I think so. Um, or if you start that way and maybe add some of it, but I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna stay away from the raw pepper for a little bit. I didn't weigh in today. I'm not gonna weigh in until Friday. I'll weigh in. I don't know. I might go up. I've been eating. My body's gonna actually have food in it that it's working to digest, and it may retain water, things like that. So if I go up, I go up. But I'm gonna weigh in Friday. That way, maybe do like a Friday check-in, and or have a Friday weigh-in before the weekend. And then if other people want to kind of weigh in the same day, maybe we can do something with that. Make it a special weigh-in day for that. But let's see. Talked about that. The other thing I was going to talk about, and it's really not talked about. I've had my right big toe, I had mentioned, was bugging me a week or so ago, and I assumed it was from doing push-ups with my son, or showing my son push-ups and just not having shoes on, or just the way and being heavy. And then the day, so it's always kind of been nagging me, and the day I'm getting to work and um my big toe is hurting me more than ever, and actually both of my big toes are just giving me pain for no reason. And I think I figured out what's causing my problem. And I think it is because I bought some new shoes and I keep switching from one pair of shoes to the other pair of shoes. And so the shoes I've been wearing are pretty nice, like New Balance, and they have like an orthopedic kind of insole thing to them. And so they give a lot of support for the whole foot and things like that. And the shoes that I am wearing now are these like moccasin. I could probably hold. It's like a moccasin, but it's super light. It's the sole is real thin, and I think it's just my weight in these shoes and just walking that's causing the pain. Because um yeah, today, I mean, just I didn't even notice until I got out of my car to come into the office. And I can't even put weight on my big toes. It hurts so much. And so I've been walking funny all day and trying to avoid walking. But I got to figure out what's going on with that. The only other thing it could be is that I've been using that foot massager uh, quite a bit, and it could be that too. Um, and so I don't know. I really like the shoes. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel, but I don't like how my toes feel right now. Hell, that's what I just did right there, while on camera. Me taking my shoe and put it on my foot. Um, that doesn't happen a month ago. I slide my foot off with the other shoe to get it off, and then I just throw it on the floor and put the shoe on at the end of the stream. I did this a month ago because I wouldn't have had the flexibility or the ability to do that at all. Anyways, it's funny. Um, See, Jen said that Oofs and Bionic are who her podiatrist recommended. Bolt said to go see an acupuncturist. They're pretty good for pain relief. And Jen agrees with them. Acupuncture is great. Yeah, I don't even know if there's an acupuncture around us here. I mean, that's not something. We're kind of in the Midwest. It's not. I'm sure there's something. I'm sure there's somebody that does that in some form or some way. So, but I've never gone to an acupuncturist. I'm sure it's probably. It must be. It's sort of like a chiropractor, I guess. I mean, the where I live is actually there's a lot of chiropractors. But the people that do chiropractic work and the people that go to chiropractic work, they love it. They swear by it, and so there must be something to it, you know. I'm sure that Jennifer does it every Monday. Wow, acupuncture. But she gets her living out there on the west side of the country. They have that kind of stuff. But yeah, I maybe I'll look into it. I haven't. I know you were asking me. I did look into something though. You were asking me about was that Discord. I created a server, but I haven't done anything with it. It says here's your shiny new server, and then I haven't done anything past that. But I named it after what I've named everything else, and that's fasting. That FAHSTING. I will look more into it, but like I said, a couple people had asked me about the Discord, and maybe that's a good place. Keep in touch between streams or something. I did share the picture. I'll try to figure out how to do that. I know it said something about there was a link that was good for a day or something, and I'll put it up tomorrow. I'll work on it more tomorrow. Okay. But the where was I going? The Instagram, like I mentioned, is the fasting FAHSTING. I posted that same photo that I posted on Reddit on there, and I actually posted two on Instagram. I had one where my shirts were untucked, and then because my after shirts were so baggy, oh excuse me, that's wrong with food, right? I had a tucked in picture that I put in, so that was on there. You can check that out. I think I showed a bowl of the oatmeal that I was eating on Sunday morning. I have the Life app. It's also the fasting. I'm gonna update myself on that. I didn't do it since the fast was over, but I did finish the fast and complete everything I needed to do with that on there. That's pretty much what I had today. I'm trying to think of anything else that I had pop into my head that I was going to definitely go over. Yeah, I mean the Reddit stuff's interesting because you do get a wide range of opinions on fasting and not fasting, and I got private messages that told me I was doing things wrong, and I had public messages that told me I was doing things wrong, and I had both the opposite way. I had a lot of people cheering me on, which was really cool, honestly. I mean, it was those are all just random people on the internet, and I mean, it's pretty obvious to see a difference there, but it was dramatic enough that that it got pretty popular on that page, which I really, appreciate. The it's tough. The criticism of fasting is so tough because I could see. I mean, if somebody that was 190 pounds walked up and said, "I'm going to do a 40-day fast because I want to lose weight," even if they were a girl, boy or girl, I mean, just anybody that's lower weight, anybody at a lower, it would be tough. I mean, I'm sure it's. I mean, but it's something where I don't think people realize that when they're criticizing me, like it's 520 pounds. Like you don't unless you're 520 pounds, or unless you're 400 pounds, like you don't understand. There's a difference. It's a different thing, and uh, like what our bodies respond to um, are different than what somebody with a low body fat is gonna, how their body's gonna handle it. And I'm sure there's percentages of time your body can handle based on the amount of fat you have. And I'm sure there's people doing all kinds of studies. And um, yeah, Jen must have seen the post, so she made the thing that I tried to convey to people, the best I can, is that like when I'm 520 pounds, it's 300 pounds. If I lost 300 pounds, I would still be, I'm pretty sure, still considered overweight. I mean, yeah, sure. For 6 foot. And so, um, that's where I got my million-calorie challenge. I got a million extra calories on my body. And one of the person, I kind of made a comment about, I may not have eaten in the last 40 days, but I ate a lot 45 days ago, and a lot 50 days ago, and a lot 90 days ago. And I had that money, or I had that excess calorie on my body. And like one of the commenters had said, that Jen's quoting here, said that it looks like they like to look at it as they were eating last year's cheeseburgers. And that's exactly what it was. Only mine were probably just the last cheeseburgers from a couple months. Depends on if it's LIFO or FIFO, right? Last in, first out, or first in, first out, right? Um, but uh, yeah, I got plenty of cheeseburgers. I got a whole pile of cheeseburgers. I'm gonna have to borrow some. And so and I'm through it now. I mean, the refeed, I'm still nervous about getting through the refeed. I mean, I'm nowhere near in the clear even 2 days in until I'm eating a better, more rounded diet. Um, and yeah, and like yeah, that's what our bodies are meant to do. We store energy for when the food is scarce, and that's the pleasure trap. And I haven't read the book, but I'm already, I'm a fan of it. Um, but yeah, we're the product of generations of the best fat storers in the history of humans. Like if they weren't good at storing fat, that they wouldn't have survived. And part of that also ingrained in them the drive to eat as much as possible, and or us, all of us, is to eat um, high caloric dense foods and eat as much as we can when it's around. And that instinct might be stronger in other people than some people than others. I feel like it's extremely strong in me because it's even now, 40 days or 44 days later, there's still times when I don't like plan to go back to eat those foods, but there's obviously some connection to them, or some fantasy, with it. Like when I see the ads, or when I see, videos of people eating that type of stuff. It, but yeah, I have to take control of it for me, and um, just each day, make sure that I have a cap, and I never go past that. I don't imagine I'm gonna for a long time. And that's the other part of the 3 years. Like that's if I do this, plan is to do this for 3 years, and to form the habits over that 3 years that last the rest of my life. If um if I can erase all the crap I've been doing, it should help. But the the refeed's going well, and I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm having fun with it, and I really appreciate you guys getting on here and chatting. And um, like I kind of mentioned in there, I want to create an atmosphere regardless of what you're choosing to do, as long as you're choosing to be healthy and choosing I want you to come in, and if you have an issue, uh, that with what with how your diet's going, maybe it's a diet I've been on, maybe it's a diet that Bolt has been on, or Jen's been on, or some of the other people. We might have an answer, or even if we don't have, I don't have the answer, or they don't. I'm going to leave this stuff up here, and maybe over time the community will answer the questions too. Um, but it's about getting better. I mean, especially for us. That when you're when you're so big, it just seems so insurmountable. And I'm at the foot of the hill. I mean, I did the this fast was just to get me started. It was to get the engine running, and get it. Yeah, ask the following. There you go. Ask the following. That'll be the name of the shows, right? I can have like a special, and then people can just free to ask the whatever they want, and then I know it's tough to not be critical of diets when you've done them and they failed, or there's something about it that goes completely against your diet beliefs. Like, I mean, obviously the difference between carnivore and vegan is as big as it gets, but I think that if, as a vegan, I can support somebody just trying to lose weight. I mean, I don't care if they're trying to lose weight. That's what I want, because I think that so many people have lost weight in so many different ways, that you can do it, that you can skin that cat a lot of ways. Um, it's that thing at the end. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that have yo-yoed like me. That it's that changing so much of the diet's always, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it until I get to my goal, and I get to my goal, and then I just am looking around like, I ate that same sausage for 9 months. I don't think I could eat it for 9 months in a day, and so then you change your diet up a little bit, and then go, and so it's about getting to that goal and then making the right adjustment. A lot of it. If that's what you're doing, if you're trying to lose a lot of weight like me, trying to maintain your weight, that's a different thing. Um, and then yeah, and like Crow says, the only diet that's ever worked for them is the one meal a day. And they don't use any sugar or flour. Um, and then right, and then you weren't able to sustain it. I don't know if 30 was your goal. You said you lost 30 pounds doing that. Um, and then you fell off the wagon and you gained it all. And that's a lot of um, the sustainability. I mean, it's something where there's a lot that can go on to, um, what caused you to fall off the wagon is probably the first thing you got to look at too. Like, and so for me, um, a lot of times it's a social event or a special occasion, or what you got to. Um, and then Bolt asking like what they were focusing on with the one meal a day. What he's asking Crow, he's asking about macros, and macros. It's honestly, it's a more newer kind of thing from what I understand with dieting, as far as people are tracking their macros, which is like down to it's more specific tracking of the nutrient levels, like the proteins, carbs, fats. Yeah. And so um, it's looking at it from that perspective, making sure that, uh, I guess, in the diets that I've been looking at more recently, or the way I would look at it, is that like there's a minimum of those that you need to try to hit, and so to eliminate all carbs, um, it can work and you can lose weight, but it's tough to sustain forever. And so, um, Yeah, and yeah, we're machines that need specific fuel. Yeah. And so if you can lose weight by eliminating one of those things, but to sustain and to like keep it the is what I think they're finding is difficult when your macros are off. Um and so and then yeah, you said that social events broke you. And that's really I had I honestly lucked out this past fast because fasting in November, usually Thanksgiving's dead in the middle. Talked about my wife a lot about it before we went into the fast, and that it was um, going to be tough to go to Thanksgiving and not eat. But a trick, if you have kids and you have a social event, for me that I found is that I'll go up and I'll prepare the kids' meal. And so for me, as far as if somebody was watching, which they're probably not, but you probably think they're watching you not eat, you know. Um, but you prepare your kids' food, you sit down at the table with your kid, and you just feed them off the plate, or you know. And like I said, people really aren't watching you when you think they are, and so I probably could have got away without eating, but. Anyways, I lucked out because our Thanksgiving got canceled, so it was real easy because it was just me with the family. Oh, and then and so I don't know. I got reading the chat here. So they were just talking about Crow said they're gonna look into it more, and then Bolt said, when I finally get my Discord going and running, then you'll post some links, which is fine. So that I should have named the Discord. I can name it anything I want. No, I could change it. I haven't done anything on it yet. But yeah, I was going on about social events and it causing the breaking of the fast. And again, and you know, I don't know your stats, Crow, or I don't know much about you, but for somebody like me being very large, I feel like that if anybody was, at least in my family, I guess, if you're over 400 pounds and you were to be at a family event or a social gathering, and you were to say, hey, I'm watching what I'm doing, I'm on a diet, they would nobody would bat it. I mean, I probably would have gotten a well, that's awesome, more than I would have been like, well, what are you doing? You know, I mean, like when you're fasting, it's tough because people have different uh, predetermined ideas of fasting. Um, and so, yeah, and so like being that weight, if you go into a social event, you're you know and this is I don't know we're going on, but um, like I have this talk with my wife a lot, and it was something that I took. Like you go into these events, and the whole time leading up, you're just making up stories in your head about what's going to happen. This could happen, that could happen, this could happen. You get there, and none of that stuff happened, but you spent all that time worrying about it, so your body actually had released all the chemicals like those things happened while you were worrying about it, and then the actual event happened and you didn't have those things. So, all right, Bolt, had to run. I'll talk to you later, man. But that the yeah, I think that if I ever went to a social event and just told people that I was dieting, they would be like, yeah, do whatever like they wouldn't care because they'd be more happy to hear that I was dieting than that I had had 12 deviled eggs and a couple cinnamon rolls. Um, then yeah. So, but it's something too where I know. I mean, I couldn't count on my hands the number of times I've let a social event break a diet for me. So I can give the advice and I can say it, and going forward, I'm going to try to preach that. But I know that it is much tougher to do things like that than to say them, especially depending on what that social event is. There could be there's a lot of other social events other than family gatherings, business stuff. There's all kinds. So, and then Jen just kind of says here, if you go to a social event and they aren't supportive, um, then you need new friends. Yes, probably. Um, all right, so we're getting to be what do you do all the time? Make new friends? I don't know about that, right? Let's see. Yeah, Jen says same thing as going to the gym. You're the only one watching what you're doing there. Yeah, everyone else is focused on their workout, and if they're not, then what are they doing at the gym? And it's not your problem; it's theirs. Yeah, right. Like you have it in your head that people are, looking at you more than they are, and some of it too is that sometimes you feel like you're when you are the biggest guy in the room or the biggest person in the room, whatever. You do feel like you're being watched because of that, you know. And so I definitely understand where it comes from. Um, but it's all about just recognizing the things and growing and trying to find new strategies to get through them, right. So the Crow just made a comment too, is it's the people that take pictures and post them on social media of bigger people at the gym. Uh the it's I don't see that a lot, and I don't know. Maybe depending on what you're going, but I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. Most of the times I've ever seen those, I've seen like the response to that of like, dude, that guy's just trying to make himself better, and that's really what I think um that is, as much as anything. And the chance of somebody doing that at your gym specifically and then putting it on the internet and then it becoming viral and then you seeing that specific photo of you is also very rare. But I understand that um, Jason responded, if anything, the people getting stared at the gym are the fit ones. Yeah, that's more than likely who everybody's looking at, is the ones that are wearing the yoga pants and the sleeveless muscle bodybuilder shirts. Um, and then Jen mentions that there's a lot of events that are just centered around food. Yeah, and then you're always self conscious about what's on your plate, and you're the biggest person, and like, yeah, it's all part of it. So anyways, guys, I definitely went super long today. I don't know. I just started rambling. I really appreciate the I really appreciate all the support. Jason says that he aspires to be one of the guys that is getting stared at the gym. Absolutely. You bet you gotta shake that booty. You gotta get on that stair climber more. That'll get you stared, right? Let's see. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. Thanks for checking out the broadcast. I appreciate you guys participating again. I know I already said that. Hit the like button, subscribe. I believe there's notification bells that you can hit so that when I do go live, you get a notification. So if you're not just sitting there at 4 o'clock every day, just waiting for me to show up, just hit that notification bell, and then when I show up, you'll get an alert, and then you'll be like, all right, I'm dropping everything. I'm gonna go listen to John just ramble for a half hour. So do those things. Instagram's Fasting, FAHSTING. Life app, I'm going to try to pay attention to it, is also Fasting, FAHSTING. And in the Discord, I'll have more info about tomorrow. So you guys all stay on track with your diets. Do what you need to do. I'm looking forward to being back on tomorrow. Why not? So we'll see you tomorrow. I really appreciate you all.